Hi, I'm Shannon, and I'm here today with professional NASCAR driver Matt Pritiko. Matt, I'm sure that you meet a lot of fans all the time, and you have a lot of people following you on your website, mattpritiko.com. So I thought we'd ask you a few questions that are sort of fan-related.
Awesome.
So when did you start racing, and what's been your path to becoming a professional race car driver?
I started racing when I was 6 years old. My dad actually bought me a go-kart when I was actually a tiny guy, not the size I am now. We raced all over the country, actually all over North America, from Vegas to Ottawa to Quebec to California. It was a lot of fun. From there on, we raced open wheel cars. I was lucky enough to be selected by Ron Fellows to run one of his open wheel car teams, and then from then on, I unfortunately was a little too tall to do what I wanted to do next. So we went to the Grand Am Series where we raced touring cars, and that's where it all kicked off my professional career.
Great. Well, I'm sure that there's a few standout moments in your career that people probably ask you about. What are some of those?
Probably one of the biggest standout moment would have to be last year when I was racing in the Keystone Lake 200 at Delaware Speedway in our Pro Late model. I led pretty much the whole race from start to finish. It was an intense race. Within, I think it was the last two laps to go, we had Jesse Kennedy right on our tail. Really unexpected, but he gave me a pretty good shove in the rear end going down the back straightaway, and I was literally sideways in the car, pretty much facing the outside wall, but I was lucky enough to regroup myself and pull off the Keystone Lake 200 win.
Awesome, good for you.
Thank you.
When you're on a long green flag run and not racing around anyone, what are you thinking about?
I'm really thinking about the next corner because you have to stay focused as much as possible. As soon as you lose focus, you'll make an error going into a corner, which will result in losing your lead. And that's the last thing you want to do after working so hard to get to where you are. So yeah, definitely stay focused, think of the next corner and what you have to do.
I'm curious, how do you celebrate a win?
Oh, geez, we're so happy when we win. The crew jumps around like crazy in the pits, and I stick my hand out that window and just high five the air because you work so hard for that opportunity, and when you succeed, it's the best feeling in the world.
It must be pure adrenaline.
No, it really is.
So if you had a day off to do anything in the world that you wanted,
yeah,
but you couldn't race, what would you do?
What would I do and not race? I'd probably spend the day at the beach. I love the beach. I love boating. I love anything to do with water, whether it's fishing or wakeboarding, or just relaxing on the beach. You know, that's probably what I would do. Whether it's at the closest lake or somewhere tropical in the Dominican, that's definitely what I would do.
Sounds amazing.
It is.
Now, you get to have a lot of cool experiences away from racing through your job as a NASCAR driver. What's one that sticks out?
I get the fortunate time to actually spend a lot of time with people who own really cool, fast cars. I work at lots of racetracks and teach people how to drive their high-performance car on a racetrack. Much like a driving instructor on the street, but actually a driving instructor on the racetrack. So I'm dealing with really, really fast cars with people who don't really know how to drive their fast car or know how to drive it but want to improve their skills. Usually at the end of the day, we stick them in the right seat, and I take them for a lap or two, and they get all squirmy and squealy. It's a really cool feeling.
So what's your favorite car off the track to drive?
Favorite car off the track to drive would definitely be probably a Porsche. I think they're one of the best cars in the world.
Absolutely. When you go home after a bad day on the track, do you vent to someone about it, or do you just kind of keep to yourself?
I think I definitely keep it to myself. I'm not the type of guy who vents a lot. I'm a pretty quiet, shy guy. So I just kind of keep all the emotions to myself and just think of what I have to do next time at the track.
So Matt, if you have kids someday and they're running around the garage, which driver would you point to as a good example for doing things the right way?
Who would I point them to? I'd probably point them, skill-wise, I think Kyle Busch is amazing. He can wheel any car he gets into. So if I were to have a kid, hopefully a boy, I would definitely think if he could have the skill level as Kyle Busch, that would be awesome. Personality-wise, I'd probably go with Jimmy Johnson. He's like the most down-to-earth guy. Even if he gets in a wreck, he still seems like he's happy to be there and so thankful with all the sponsors. So yeah, skill level, definitely Kyle Busch. Personality, I'd say a guy like Jimmy Johnson.
So Matt, I'm sure fans want to know, what's a TV show you're really into right now?
I don't really watch that much TV. When and I do get the fortunate time of watching some TV in my downtime, I'll flick a sports game on, whether it's hockey, watch the Jays play some baseball, or even a NASCAR race on Sunday.
Now, if you could give a piece of advice to your younger self, something that you know now that you didn't know then, what would that be?
I guess if I had a really cool time machine, I'd go back and I'd probably start racing old track stuff a little sooner, get in the late models a little sooner, maybe skip out another series that I did do. Who knows, I could be somewhere else right now.